Ah, good evening, and welcome to the Raven House of Mysterious Happenings. In tonight's movie review, we are going to travel to the English countryside and to that mysterious and foreboding place known as Eel Marsh House. So, if your bags are packed and you've assured the family that you'll be returning in a few days, here we go. The Woman in Black. Now, this film is a supernatural horror film by CBS Films in association with Cross Creek Pictures and Hammer Film Studios. And I must say, it was really great to see the Hammer Film logo once again up on the big screen. The film stars Daniel Radcliffe as Arthur Kipps, Ciaran Hinds as Samuel Daly, Janet McTeer as Mrs. Daly, and Liz White as the Woman in Black. The film was written by Jane Goldman, based on the novel by Susan Hill, and is directed by James Watkins. The film opens in London in the late 19th century, where Arthur Kipps, a young attorney, is traveling to the English countryside to visit Eel Marsh House, the home of Mrs. Alice Drablow, a client who has recently passed away. Arthur is recently widowed. He has a 4-year-old son who he had to leave in London, and he was a little distraught about leaving his son, but he feels it's important for him to take on this case. His employer at the law firm says, you know, your work has not been too great as of late, even though we understand the death of your wife, but it would be important that you do take this case at Eel Marsh House and just go through the papers and see what you can find out about Mrs. Drablow's will. So Arthur arrives in the small town near Eel Marsh House, and he's able to find his way to the house along a causeway, which is only accessible when the tide is out. So once he gets there, he is kind of cut off even from the nearby town and the house. While he's there, he's going through the papers looking for Mrs. Drablow's will, but he starts hearing like strange sounds, creaks in the house, and sees for the first time the Woman in Black. He's not sure who she is, but she's definitely an unnerving figure to him. And when he's able to return to the town later, he tries to ask about her, but no one seems to know who she is, or even they want to even talk to him about her. Arthur also learns that in recent history, a number of the children in the town have died under mysterious or somewhat terrifying circumstances, and it seems to also be some kind of connection with Eel Marsh House and this Woman in Black. So Arthur is determined to find out more about her, maybe about this curse, and if there's any way to maybe free the town of the curse of this Woman in Black. So he returns to Eel Marsh House to try to go through the papers and try to learn more. Some of his investigation also leads him to a mysterious nursery filled with toys, and seems to be a focus point of the haunting of the house. I really liked this film. I thought it was very well done. I had recently read the book, and the film does follow the book pretty closely, though it does make some changes. The book itself was very much a gothic thriller filled with atmosphere, and the film really supports that. The production design on it was just incredible. Eel Marsh House, the town, the causeway with the tide rolling in, it really had a dark, foreboding feel to it, which really helped make the story feel kind of creepy and unnerving, which was also what the book was like. So it really did follow the book closely in that respect. And I thought Daniel Radcliffe did a good job in the lead. His first real role after the Harry Potter films. Played Arthur Kipps as kind of a vulnerable character, but it definitely worked for this film. We also get a good supporting cast in the film, particularly Ciaran Hinds as Samuel Daly. He does a great job and supports Daniel Radcliffe in the scenes they're together in. But Daniel Radcliffe carries most of the film himself, and of course we don't really see the woman in black, played by Liz White, too often, but she's definitely a terrifying figure when she appears, and really makes it really a menacing presence throughout the story and in the film. It's just done very effectively. The one downside to the film, though, I feel, is it had one too many cheap scares, or boo scares as they're known, kind of throughout the film. One or two boo scares in the film is not too bad, but this one had just a few too many of them, like the plumbing is rattling, or like suddenly a crow flies out and scares Arthur, or there's suddenly a ghostly face at a window that screams, and it's just kind of designed to make the audience jump, and I kind of felt that there was just a little too much of that. Kind of had me on edge, and I really couldn't sit and kind of enjoy the film and enjoy the atmosphere and everything, because I kept waiting for the next boo scare, and it just kind of didn't make me enjoy it as much. So in that one respect, yeah, that was the one problem I had with it. I wish they hadn't done that little trick so many times. But overall, though, I thought it was a great film. I definitely enjoyed it. I think the film is strongest when it was following the book. And it takes some liberties and makes some changes. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. There's also the ending is different than the book as well, which does work. It's still kind of in the same tone, or the same, that dark, foreboding, journey that it's going to take. And it like I said, they make some changes, but overall, though, it does fit the feel of the book, and I think it's definitely worth seeing. If you've read the book, it's definitely a film you can enjoy. And if you haven't read the book, well, I mean, it's still a great horror story, and with plenty of mystery elements. So it's definitely worth seeing. Well, that's about it. Thank you, as always, for listening.